So I used to work at a bar with Lou in college where everybody called me Fat Steven. Well, don't get sad. I was 350 pounds. They were right, you know, but I was also the only Steven. They didn't need a fucking adjective.
Dude, the crazy thing is we had 3 Tylers and one of them was fat. We didn't call him Fat Tyler.
Just me. And then I lost a bunch of weight. I don't know if anybody has ever done that fucking stupid decision. I lost a bunch of weight. I thought my life was going to get better. No. Don't lose weight. Gain confidence. That's all you need. I thought I was going to get laid more. I remember I lost like 100 pounds. I walked back in at 250. You couldn't tell me shit. I got the opposite of body dysmorphia. You know what I mean? Like even at 3:30, I could walk past a mirror butt naked and be like, you're killing it. I didn't need to lose weight. When I stepped back into that bar at 250, you couldn't tell me shit, dude. I remember stepping back in. They hadn't seen me in like a year. I was like, what's up, everybody? From the back, somebody goes, oh, what's up, not so fat Steven? And I was like, God damn it. Lose the weight, not the adjective, huh? Fucked up. So I decided to make it part of my Instagram handle. So please follow us on Teachables Comedy, formerly Fat Steven, Lou Ferris. How should I collect these? I tell you what, why don't you talk to these people for a second?
What's the deal with airline food? No, that's
Oh,
bad.
you didn't want to ask a question? Okay, good. Good to know.
So while we're collecting...
Oh, you didn't have a pen? What happened to the pens?
This is just like class. Mister, I don't have a pen. I didn't get a paper. You didn't tell us about the Q&A.
Well, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm about to forget my why. Don't make me. Don't make me forget.
So, like Steven said, if you have a question, you wanna ask it right on the piece of paper, we'll draw it. Before we get started, does anybody have a question that they want to ask out loud? Like you didn't have a pen. Anybody being led by the Spirit?
Nice. All right, here. It just says, what is? Did a student ever have a crush on you? That's a really uncomfortable question. And the answer is yes. Yes. I had one crazy student, and I didn't know she was stalking me until one of the other teachers was like, hey, Hannah told me something today. And I was like, yeah, what's up? This is a problem student. Something was always happening with her. I was like, what's going on with Hannah? And she goes, well, she says she's dating a stand-up comedian. And that's when I was like, woohoo! I know every stand-up comedian in Missouri. Who could it be? It was Missouri at the time, and then she showed a picture. What? Okay, what the fuck? You taught in Missouri. Okay, nice. I'll talk slower. No, I got fired from Olathe, Kansas, and I taught in Kansas City and St. Louis.
My man.
Oh,
no. Right on stage.
Whoa, wait, stop. That shirt rules, dude. Dude, every school, admin, I want you to see this.
Yeah, come on.
Admin, this is your school shirt this year. Do y'all know what FAO? Everybody, if you know what it means, say it with me. Fuck around and find out. Wear that to your fucking PD, bitch.
Every time a teacher starts talking too long about what they did for summer, you just kind of stand up and show your shirt at them.
All right, I tell you what. You talk to these people for a second. I'm gonna walk around a little bit.
I mean, I kind of used up all of my jokes. What do I miss about teaching? Summer. Great question. I legitimately missed that it was like super chaotic, and this is gonna sound stupid, but I used to teach in Florida, and everything you've heard about Florida is true. And so like every day I would go to school, and I taught 8th graders, and so I was like, this is about to be like, I'm entering the fucking Thunderdome. And every day was something different in Florida, so that was my favorite thing. I miss the stories. I remember my last year teaching in Florida, I found out my students had a fight club. like an eighth grade fight club, and it was like a block away from the school. They weren't trying to hide it, and it was like 50 eighth grade boys would go take their shirts off right after school and beat the shit out of each other. Yeah, they showed me videos. It was really respectful. But what was crazy is I went and I told our school resource officer about it. I was like, hey, the kids have Fight Club. And he was like, yeah, I know. Dude, his tone of voice was like, how about you mind your own fucking business? And I'll cut you in on these bets I'm making. So that's what I miss about teaching is like wild shit now. What do you miss about teaching?
Fucking nothing, dude. What I do miss is just like the weird thing, because I taught ELL, so there's like shit you get there that you'll never get anywhere else out in life. Like I was, just talking to kids from like East Africa or Southeast Asia about how they lived. It was funny because every time you talk to them, they'd be like, we should hit these kids. Every one of the ELL kids is like, why do you not hit these children? These children are so bad. You should hit them. And you're like, hey, in America, we can't hit them. And they go, but why? They are bad children. And I go, I know. ELL kids, they'll hit you straight with some shit you've never even thought before. Because the language translates different. Like, it's just goofier conversation. I had one kid, he did not mean this mean at all. But all he did is he goes, mister. I was like, what's up? He's from East Africa. He goes, you are not very fat. It's like, what? Were you talking to somebody? Very is doing a lot of work.
Dude, I mean, yeah, that shit is wild. I had a kid from Somalia who told me, he goes, mister, if I had your hair, my dad would send me back to Somalia. I was like, what? He's like, yes, you're disrespecting your family. I was like, what does that mean?
Dude, Somali kids, man, they're different, dude. Just all the East African kids. I had one of my Spanish students, because Spanish students, that's always funny. I had one of my Honduran student he loved rap music, and he would sing the N-word really loudly. And then a white man, had to have a conversation with a 15-year-old Honduran about why he couldn't say the N-word. And then when he was like, why? And I was like, I don't have a lot of time. I don't. Nor the language, honestly. I don't think we can Google Translate this conversation, to be honest with you.
Yeah, anytime that happened in my class, I was like, I'm just going to let the kids sort this one out. I'm not pulling anyone in the hall.
Oh, shit. Okay. Let's see. Have either of you ever felt sexually... Oh, I didn't even finish telling you about the chick that was stalking me, because this one just came up. Have you ever felt sexually harassed by a student? Yes or no? When I found out that she was stalking me and was telling people that I was her boyfriend, I was like, well, that's fucking terrifying. And then I went and talked to my admin, and they were like, have you tried building a relationship? And I was like, that's the problem. It's actually quite a bit of the issue. And we had a conversation with her, and we told her, like, hey, you cannot do this anymore. This is totally unacceptable. She was stalking all of my social media pages. And then she stopped, deleted, blocked. And then I got followed by another. And the name was like Hannah 2. I was like, Hannah 2? And then I clicked on the profile, and the profile's totally blank, had just been created that day. And it had a cover photo that was a rabbit. And I knew that this child had a rabbit. Like an actual animal. Sorry, I don't want this to seem weird. The vibe got strange, and I didn't know what you thought or what I thought, and I was just trying to make sure.
Mister, look.
Do you have any pets you want to show the class? Yeah. What sound does the rabbit make? Boo. She has a pet rabbit.
Oh, fuck.
So then I called admin again. We called a meeting with grandma. Grandma comes in. She comes in. Admin's in there. And we were like, hey, look, I know you've been following me again. And she's like, I have not. I would never do that. You told me you didn't want me to, so I'm not going to do it. And then for the first time probably ever, I had to hold up a picture and be like, is this your rabbit? Looked like somebody holding a smoking gun. She was like, yeah. So yeah, totally uncomfortable question, but yeah, thanks. Thanks for bringing it back. I forgot about it.
I had a girl walked into class and I was like, "Good morning," and she was like, "I can see your nipples." And okay, so
You can't come back from nipples, dude. If your nipples are out, you're no longer a man to them.
yeah, dude, I like was so freaked out. Like I immediately went to the school resource officer. I'm like, "I know you're watching Fight Club reruns, but I got a problem."
That's always when you say shit the wrong way. You run into the SRO officer. You're like, "They saw my nipples," and they're like, "What?" They can see them. Okay, that was a good. Thank you for the first question. I appreciate that. This one says, "What has been the weirdest thing a student told their parents that you did?" Ooh, weirdest thing a student told their parents you did.
Oh man. So, I mean, as a rule, I didn't talk to parents.
Fucking insane. He's not joking. I wish he was joking. He's being so serious right now.
Dude, whenever I would call a parent, even if they answered, I would hang up and then log it. I'd be like, "Number was disconnected."
Can you believe I'm the one that got fired? This man got Teacher of the Year. I was calling parents to ELL students. I was having to call translators in. And you want to know the thing about translators? We can't afford them. There are not a lot of translators available. So then you'd have to do Google Translate with the kids.
Y'all didn't have like a translator there with you? You had to like use the phone?
Well, dude, I had languages that like didn't have Google Translate. Like I had languages that like are almost unheard of. So no, we didn't have a Karen speaker in fucking Kansas City. So the only person I could trust to translate the Karen to the Karen parents was the Karen student. And I'd be talking to the student and the parent at parent-teacher conference. I'd be like, "Your son is a delight to have in class. I love when he's here." You always have to start with a lie. Love having him here. He's great. And then they would translate that to the parent, and the parent would be like, "Ah, yes." And then the turn would come. Teachers, you know what the turn is, right? The turn is like, "But they are a little social, and he does spend most of his time on his phone or chasing the other girls in class." And then he would translate that to mom, and then mom would be like, "Nah." Be like, "What the fuck did you just say to her? Read it back to me."
So not really like me talking to a parent, but my old vice principal had a daughter that went to the school that I taught at. And I was like 22 years old. It was my first year teaching, and she was like a senior. And I went back to like my college town, which was like 30 minutes away, and I like went to a frat party, which is gross as a 22-year-old. I realized pretty quickly. But I went there, and I saw my vice principal's daughter at the frat party. And I was like, "I'm getting fired tomorrow." I'm at this. We ended up taking a picture. It was fun.
Teacher of the Year.
You ever see a parent as like you're buying beer like in a bar?
Oh, dude, seeing a parent in the wild is, you know what it feels like? It feels like when you put two betta fish in a tank together and they're just like waiting on the other one to make the first move. It's like, "I'm going to kick your ass." I hate seeing parents, dude. That's the worst thing.
I mean, I saw one in the liquor store, and I was buying 30 beers, which is not great. I was like,
enough for everybody in class.
And I don't know why, but I panicked when I saw the parent and they saw me, and I was just like, "Sup, big chief?" It's like, that's the bad nickname to call him.
Somebody said, "Where did you get your Wayne's World sweatshirt?" Thank you for asking. I got this from Cheatin' Snakes. It's a brand out of Kansas City. He does Post Malone's merch. He's like blown up over the last like 5 years. So Cheatin' Snakes, follow us first, but then you can check them out.
Have you ever bet on how long new teachers in Paris will last? Yes.
Yeah, that's my icebreaker.
Dude, we had like a Deadpool going at my old school of like who was going to quit by Christmas and who was going to quit first week of school. I won like a bunch of money the first week of school because this dude, he brand new teacher first year, and they had him in a different classroom every single period. I was like, he doesn't last a week. He quit fourth period day one. he didn't tell admin or anything. He just got his shit and dipped. Hero.
Those are my favorite. Whenever you go to that teacher's classroom and then there's just 27 students sitting quietly and no teacher. And you're like, what happened? And they're like, what was your favorite subject in school? Sex ed question day. I'm going to be honest, I really didn't like a lot of classes. I hated most everything. Social studies was kind of my bag, but I hated teachers. I hated teachers. They never liked me. I never liked them. And then I'd find like the 3 teachers that I did like, and I fucked with them pretty heavy. So like intro to business and computer applications, I took like 6 times. You can get introduced a lot of times, you know. It was just mostly typing and video games. It was a pretty cool class.
I always liked the easy ones. I liked English and reading. And yeah, I didn't fuck with science. I like didn't understand it. I mean, Louisiana, they taught me that, you know, evolution didn't exist, and then I would go to science class, and they're like, evolution exists. I was like, I'm not having a fight with my parents over this. Fuck this teacher.
Dude, did y'all have that shit at your school? We've never talked about this. We had a chick who, like, freaked out over teaching evolution, so they had to involve a creativist curriculum for her. And then, like, 7 years later, she became a stripper. I was like, dude. Sarah, just let your tits out. You don't have to be so goddamn uptight.
That just sounds like someone got homeschooled.
Dude, and her family wasn't even religious. I think it was just one of those things, you know. Sometimes, y'all don't have a lot of that up here, do you? They would never let. Oh, they let you teach creative writing. What's it called? Creativism. Creationism. Wow, creativism is what my art teacher was trying to get me to do. Couldn't do it. Did they? So they let you teach that up here?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Look us up.
What is it? It's what town?
Watertown?
Wait, is this South Dakota?
No, in between Milwaukee and Madison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. They love the Lord.
Yeah.
Walk on Watertown.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you to the 3 people in the middle. Yes, it's going to get you in trouble.
I mean, like, it was different, like, growing up like a Southern Baptist, because it was always kind of loose. And, like, creationism, they were like, yeah, pretty much as long as you remember God created LSU and the devil created Alabama, then you're good. All right, someone asked a really specific question. You were being interviewed for a librarian position for grades 6 through 12, and the principal asks you, what would you do if a fight broke out in the library?
Wait, okay. I'm going to be honest with you. I was reading this, and then you read an essay. I was prepared for a question. Run that by me one more again.
This person was being interviewed to be a librarian,
okay.
And the principal asked them, what would you do if a fight broke out in the library?
Throw books.
Yeah, you got weapons. Like, come on.
They're trying to get rid of them anyway. Use them as weapons.
Sorry, I just got a real good imagery of a fight breaking out in the library and just going shh as the kids are like beating each other to death.
And the kids stop and they're like, dude, yeah, librarian, you just open that one book you have that's hollowed out, pull out the gun. They let y'all have those here? In Watertown, they do.
Man, yeah, where did kids have a, what you got?
I'm just, you saw Pulp Fiction. I'm just thinking about Jules from Pulp Fiction doing the I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's just a Watertown teacher about to kill a kid.
Dude, Samuel L. Jackson as a librarian.
Yeah. Say what again, motherfucker? Dude, just a librarian pulling out a wallet that says bad motherfucker on it. Okay, cool.
My librarian did tobacco at school. while we
Dude,
were
a
there.
dipping librarian might be the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is that true?
Yeah, Miss Thurmond. Yeah.
Miss Thurman?
Dude, yeah, we'd walk in, she'd be like, "What's up, kids?" Y'all here for Diary of a Wimpy Kid again?
Come here, son. You want to speak parcel tongue? Give you a little bit of chaw.
This says, "Why are teachers so fucking rude?" I'm going to assume this is the Gen Z kid I was talking shit to.
Teachers, I will say, I was kind of joking. Teachers are kind of a tough audience, but sometimes, have y'all ever been to a PD? Bro, a PD is where you see who the teachers are, because teachers walk around the class, get off your phones, pay attention, and then you go to a PD and everybody's like, it's like, are you watching porn right now?
Just
Teachers
reading it.
are- Reading what?
Just reading porn.
Just reading porn. Yeah, I turn on the captions, turn off the sound. Where did you film your TikTok? Sounds like my fucking HR is here. You know where I filmed it. I filmed it in my classroom, and that is why I got in trouble. And what they said is my wall, like the wall I had around my desk, had thank you notes from like all of my students. I had like this big wall of thank you notes that they would give me every Thursday. And so they said it was a violation of FERPA because you could see students' names. But I don't know if you know this about students. They don't write their full names on anything. So it was like, thank you, Mr. Taylor, everything that you've done, yada, 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 from Logan S. And they were like, do you see what you've done? And I was like, I do not, because there's nothing that says what school it is. And they go, yeah, but we know. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do about it? And they were like, you have to delete the videos and stop making TikToks. And I was like, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be, I want to be a comedian. I don't want to be a teacher. So I'm kind of have to pick. Yeah, I got fired. It was national news. It like, yeah. I was on The Breakfast Club, not the movie. I just looked around, realized there was no black people. It's like very few black people here. What? Yeah, I got Donkey of the Day. You're not going to believe it. Not good.
I mean, I didn't get fired, which is insane, because like I was posting like, I want to abort my students online. And, dude, I swear, like October, when I knew I was gonna quit, my principal came up to me in the hallway and he goes, "Hey man, I saw someone sent me one of your videos. It was that horse bit that I did at the end." And he goes, "Thanks for not saying the school's name." And that was it. I was like, hell yeah, brother. There was one question that was like, do you think the resurgence of reading smut is affecting literacy rates? Yes, actually. A bunch of my students, like I think it's just like dirty material in general is helping the literacy rate and like acceptance of, I guess, bad words and shit. Because I remember I was teaching and we were about to get hit by a hurricane, and so I took my kids to the library and they were like checking out a bunch of books, and this kid would like read like dirty shit all the time on his laptop, and he had like 3 books. I was like, great, man. He didn't speak English really well, and I was like, dude, you gonna read all those over the hurricane? He goes, hell yes, I'm going to read this shit. I was like, fuck yeah, brother.
Okay. Oh, that's the librarian thing. Why are these? Have you ever... Jesus Christ, how am I getting the same fucking... What's the worst pronunciation of your name? Stefan. People call me Stefan, and that never happened until Steph Curry. Before Steph Curry, I was Steven my whole life. Maybe an old black man would call me Steve. That was it. I was Steven or I was Steve. And then Steph Curry came along and they were like, you're the greatest NBA shooter of all time.
Dude, crazily enough, my name is Lou, and a bunch of kids think my first name is Lau.
That's how you know you teach some ELL shit.
Dude, when they're like, your first name is Lau, I was like, this generation is fucking cooked. Because then I'd be like, it's short, my real name is Louis, and they're like, Lois? I'm like, God damn it.
No, it's French. It's Louis. Yeah, my name, my intro to business and computer applications teacher, she used to call me two first names. She never called me by my name. She just goes, hey, what are you doing, two first names? Because my name is Stephen Taylor. And apparently she thought that was so funny. You ever do that shit as a teacher? You ever bully a student just to make yourself laugh? Nobody else laughed. I never laughed. None of the other kids laughed. She'd be like, two first names. Hey, come over here, two first names. Two first names. And I was like, it's Stefan. Oh, shit. Okay. I think that we've got two more. I think that we've got time. I think we just got... did y'all have a good time tonight? Was this a fun time? Oh! Lou sells merch as well. He sells the Let Teachers Drink in Class koozie. And then nobody was buying my merch. So I had to make new merch, and he's pissed off about it. It says, Let Drinkers Teach in Class. A little more my vibe. So we're going to be upstairs. Please come by those. Or just say, hey, whatever you want. Just it means a lot.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I was selling all the merch, and it was basically like, hey, let me copy off your homework. And I was like, change it up a little bit so the teacher doesn't know.
I put his merch into ChatGPT. Oh, shit. And yeah, tell your friends about tomorrow. A grinder.
Hell yeah.
No, we're it wouldn't even work for me. That wouldn't. Okay, that could work for me. That might work for me. That doesn't work for me. We didn't have Grindr. We went to college together. Very small town. We worked at a bar in college. We didn't have Grindr. We didn't have Uber. We didn't have shit. We didn't have Uber. We still. I don't think Rustin has Uber still.
No, definitely not.
No. We had a guy named Russell. You remember Russell?
Dude, that's true, yeah. He was our one guy.
Russell was just one guy with a van. He would drive by at the bars midnight to 2, and he'd just pick you up. You just get in the back of his van, and he had...
Dude, it was a big white van, no seats.
No seats. He took all the seats out.
Sometimes there'd be a mattress back there.
It wasn't a creepy mattress. It was the only comfortable option. Otherwise, it was just 15 drunk college kids rolling around in the back. Do you remember the sign that he had up?
Yeah.
He had one sign, one rule in Russell's van. It said no fingering. Just it. No fingering.
Did he die?
He did die.
R.I.P. Russell.
Yeah. I remember at his funeral there was a sign outside of his casket that said some fingering. I'm sorry. I miss you, Russell. All right, last two questions. Make sure you tip them, please. Give them health insurance. What is the craziest thing you've ever encountered in teaching? Craziest thing you've ever encountered in teaching. You know what? I've never told this, and I'm realizing as I'm about to say it that it's not even that funny. We had windows in my school. I'm from a very underfunded place. You could tell that by my accent, right? I'm from a place where they want to have the 10 Commandments in the classroom. Isn't that shit funny, dude? That's not my answer, but I think that might be the craziest thing I've ever encountered, is thinking that I should put the 10 Commandments up in every classroom in Missouri. With what printer? 100 classrooms need 10 commandments? I can give you 5. The other 5 are going to be pretty fucking blurry. And the literacy rate is too low for the 10 commandments. They don't understand thee. I can't get them to thou. But I think the craziest thing I've ever encountered, our facilities were fucked up. Like, our infrastructure was bad. Like, we didn't have a thermostat, but we had like this silver plate. And if you wanted the room to have air conditioner, the plate had to get hot enough to identify that it needed to be colder. So you just had to like rub I had a microwave in my room that I used to just like microwave the same bag of steamed peas and then just put them on top of the thermostat. And then that would allow you to get air conditioning. It was kind of like making a sacrifice to some Old Testament God. But we had that, and then we had windows. And the windows, I don't know if y'all have these in your classrooms, where you open the window, and then it shuts with the force of like Brock Lesnar. Why did I look at a bunch of women and think Brock Lesnar? Just like, so I opened a window, and then I went to, I don't know why my hands were, but I just remember the window dropped on my hand, and then both of my hands were stuck. And then I just had to yell. I've never been more helpless in a position, but my hands were just like window, and then it, whoom. And then I just went, ah! And then one of my kids comes in. It's that same kid who was like, "You're not very fat." He goes, "What?" And I go, "Ah." And he goes, "Ah." And I was like, "Help me." And he goes, "With what?" I can't point to my fucking hands. I told you it's not that funny, but it's like, just what do you do?
I think mine was actually in high school. I befriended a kid from Appalachia, and which was a bad decision. Because within like a week, he decided I was his best friend, and I would go out to my truck, and this kid was like wild. And I'd go out to my truck after school, and there'd be a bunch of cottonmouths in the cab of my truck. That he was like, this is how I'm going to show him friendship. Like our school was next to a river. Like during lunch, he'd go down to the river, catch a bunch of snakes, and put them in my truck.
Wait, in the
cab. I was like, brother, how did you get those in there?
Why are you not locking your door after one snake attack?
He needed friends, but yeah, dude, I was like, dude, these snakes are venomous, and he's like, quit being a pussy.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the military now.
We appreciate y'all. We hope you had a good time. Somebody submitted this one, and I think you're an asshole. But I saw it earlier, and I wanted to wait.
You're not an asshole in my eyes. What is a penis, Charles Carr?
I think that's a good place to end it. Thank y'all so much for coming out. We've been the Unteachables. Round of applause for Lou Ferris, everybody. Let him hear it.
Round of applause for Steven Taylor, everybody.
Thank you so much. We'll be right up there. Come buy some merch. Have a good night. Get home safe. Goodbye.